Some people ask me, how does racism from the past affect us to this very day? Well, I'm from South Carolina, and to all people who are watching from South Carolina, back me up in what I'm about to say. Racism from the past affects us now because of the systems that were put in place. Like, for example, in South Carolina, there was a Democrat who was a governor. His name was Benjamin Tillman. Back in 1890 through 1894, he was the governor of South Carolina. But he was better known as Pitchfork Tillman, because he threatened to take a cattle prod to the quote unquote bag of beef that was President Grover Cleveland. He didn't like him. So he threatened to cattle prod him, and that's how he got his nickname. So Pitchfork, he didn't like the court systems. He didn't like how democratic they were. So Pitchfork, he designed a court system in which the citizens didn't get to vote on the judges that would appear inside of South Carolina courts. That's why to this very day, if you go to the state of South Carolina, it is the South Carolina General Assembly and the South Carolina Judicial Merit Selection Committee who picks the judges. And many of these lawmakers and lawyers appear in front of these same judges. I'm going to say that again. This court system in South Carolina is so backwards that it was designed by a white supremacist who put a court system in place to disenfranchise black people in such a way that it is the lawmakers and the lawyers who appear in front of the judges, the same people who are often racist, who are known racist, they're picking the judges. This is why you can't get judicial reform or prison reform or police reform in South Carolina, because the people who are friends with the cops and the judges and the prisoners, the prison wardens, I should say, they're the same people who are picking the same judges, who are only going to empower the system that's been put in place for that long, since the 1800s. And Pitchfork Tillman, he led violent insurrections and violent actions and lynchings against black people. He had this paramilitary group called the Red Shirts. Many black people were lynched under his tenure, and he opposed civil rights. And this is the same court system that we've held in place since that guy has been around. And people have the nerve and the audacity to ask, how does racism from the past affect us even now? The court system for an entire state that is so corrupt that you allow sheriffs to cover up horrible things that happens to freaking children, sheriffs whose wives help them cover up crimes as judges and then get back on the bench. That was designed by a white supremacist. That's been my TED Talk.